Alright, so really quick I want to talk about equilibrium. We talked about rotational equilibrium, we talked about translational equilibrium. Now I just want to talk about equilibrium. So when we were talking about translational equilibrium, that means that an object is experiencing a group of forces, or no force, and when summing those forces up, you end up with 0. Okay? So this object may be experiencing a force here, force here, force here, force here, but when you add them all together, they equal 0 force, 0 net force. Okay? Now, carefully, I'm repeating this over and over again. It doesn't mean that the object is not moving. It just means that its rate of motion is constant. Excuse me. Which means that that object is moving with a constant velocity. Okay? Okay, so that just means that that object is moving with a constant velocity. Now, when we talk about rotational equilibrium, we say that the sum of the torques are equal to 0. Okay? So when I sum up all the torques, whatever they may be, whether it's 0, whether it's 5, whether it's 200, that the net torque, all of them together, added together, equals 0. Okay? So that means that the object is not stationary. I mean, we're not talking about linear motion, but is rotating at a constant rate. Okay? So that's what it means to have the sum of the torques equal to 0. The object is simply rotating at a constant rate. If you think about it, once you get an object to start spinning, it just kind of keeps on spinning. Okay? If you look at NASA footage in space, you can set an object in motion and it'll keep spinning. The net torque on that is 0, so the object is just going to keep moving and rotating at the same rate. Cool? Well, I've just explained equilibrium. Okay? So when we talk about equilibrium, we're talking about a system where the sum of the torques and the sum of the forces are both equal to 0. So the object does not experience a change in the rate of its motion. That means it has a constant velocity. And when it's rotating, its angular velocity is constant. Okay? So that's what it means for an object to be equilibrium. The net force and the net torque are equal to 0. Cool? Really simple because we've already talked about it in depth when talking about translational equilibrium and rotational equilibrium. Equilibrium in itself just means that both of those are true. That both of those are experiencing, you're experiencing both rotational and translational equilibrium.